Good afternoon. Well, we start, of course, with the developing story, the developing tragedy playing out in George this afternoon. One more person now pulled alive from the rubble of the collapsed building there. That means the number of those rescued now stands at 28. The Western Cape Provincial Government, the George Municipality, just giving you an update on rescue efforts, as well as their investigation into the cause of the collapse. Our reporter Sipha Kema attended that briefing. She joins us now. Sipha, good afternoon to you. What's the latest from there? What are the main developments so far today?
Well, Stephen, we've just wrapped up a press briefing which was led by the Western Cape Premier, Alan Winde, just giving an update, of course, on the investigations that they said were currently underway at when we had the first briefing at 10:30. But, of course, the main question here, Stephen, was the name of that developer, that company that was constructing that multi-story building which collapsed yesterday. And we finally have a name. They've been named as the Neo Trend Group, ICE, by the George Mayor. He gave us some bit of information saying, telling us, of course, detailing when exactly those plans were actually approved. I think we're going to also just try and get in the Premier of the Western Cape here in with us, just to answer, just a few questions there, Stephen. I mean, we know that initially there was a bit of pushback, or they were reluctant to name that developer. And okay, I think he is occupied right now with News 24. So we're just going to then just change it and maybe perhaps talk to some of the developers that have been on site, some of the engineers that we're speaking to. I think we do have here the mayor from George Municipality, and he's the one who gave us the name, Mr. Van Wyk. Thank you so much for joining us. I think, Mr. Van Wyk, let's talk about first, just to take us through the viewers, the approval of the plans by the municipality, when it happened, or when they were submitted, when they were approved, and the starting of construction and inspection or pre-inspection of that building.
Yes, so the plans were submitted on the 22nd of December 2022, and they were then approved on the 6th of July 2023. And then what follows from that is, because of that type of construction, there would be a construction team, and they would need to have a full team of professionals that would be responsible for that. So that would range from the architect through to the quantity surveyor, the civil engineering people, the structural engineer. You would need a structural engineer on a building of that nature that effectively is a basement, a parking area, and then 4 floors of flats above that to give you that total of 42 flats in that building. So I'm sure that they have a mechanical engineer and various other professionals as well. So they then flow through a process of when they start doing the foundations, the engineers need to sign off on has that been done correctly. They test the concrete, they test the cement, and then as they build up, there are tests that are taking place on an ongoing basis. So that's how that does. Ultimately, the municipality would then come back when that building is completed, and then they would issue an occupation certificate for that building then to be occupied, that it can be used by people. So you go through that whole period of construction, and those professionals, the engineers, would certainly need to be part of the Engineering Council of South Africa, so you need to be a professional attached to that body.
Yes. Now, Mr. Van Wyk, I mean, some of the questions would have been, you giving us the contractors' names, and we believe there have been interviews that have been conducted by the developer as well, talking to some media houses. Has there been any, conversation that the municipality as well as the provincial government has had as of yet with the developers and, plans moving forward regarding this investigation?
Yes, look, we wouldn't have discussed it with the developer at this stage, because the focus then on the municipality is now as a rescue operation that they have to move in, and those emergency services need to come in on site. So, and that's the sole focus. And the moment that accident or the incident took place and the collapse, because there are people involved in it, your Department of Labour needs to be involved. So that's when the Department of Labour comes in. And I noticed at some stage, late afternoon in the evening, there were probably at least 6 of their staff that were on site, and they were receiving documentation, I believe, from the foreman on site, and the contractors have also then exchanged and made available the names of the various workers who were working there, because it wasn't only the construction company, there were subcontractors that were working there. For instance, electrical people that were working, apparently also painting, that were already involved on site there. So that's how that process would then take place. At the same time, SAPS, because it is a crime scene effectively, they've got crime scene people on board, and have also brought their inspectors at an engineering level as well.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Van Wyk. That's Mr. Leon Van Wyk, a mayor from Georgia local municipality, of course, talking to us about the approval of the building, for neo-trend ice, as well as also talking about the process that would have been taken by not just the municipality, but the entirety, the whole value chain of, approval for that building. But also mentioning that, Department of Labour has been brought in, and we can also confirm that we have seen there is a Department of Labour official that is currently on site, someone from the National Office on site currently, just to, of course, talk to, the company as well regarding those workers. As you know, this is also a labour issue there, Stephen.
Very much indeed for that update. All right, we've just had that briefing then, that update from Sipha Kema as well. And of course, the situation there on the ground still very, very difficult as rescuers still try to drag more people, try and recover more people from the rubble after a very, very difficult building collapse.